So in some way, the transitional phase of property means as a moment of recognition of something you are sitting here now giving a talk, this way. But and that is your joy, that you will leave soon too. So you are owned as a professor giving a talk, and you need both in this respect. So the problem of property is this trying to keep it, nicht to stick to it, nicht to be make it the bottom, the ground, nicht making the plans, building the house and all this stuff. And it's in fact the main problem we have, that we don't trust that life goes on anyway. So we try to make it, to organize it in order to not to fall down and not to be killed or whatever. And you all forget that you get killed anyway. All of you. I'm happy about that. But if you're not, where will all the other guys come from? So this is a moment, you say we have to organize this, what's going on now. There's still this moment of poverty in there. So you are sensing something is happening, and fortunately all that what was meant to be forever will go away, will die, but the new is not something you need to organize, something you be open to. And this openness is certainly the Heideggerian insight, that's our real existence, our ability for openness and our trust that whatever happens, we will kind of deal with it. Right. And that if death is not something wrong, you can anticipate it and you can have a productive way to it. But you're totally right, your point that the word of the production when you have forgotten that in this school the tools is outlawed. After Schumacher there are no tools, because the tools you still believe there's a master, there's tools for certain purposes, etc. This is exactly the way of ruining your understanding of how a human being exists. But anyway, at the end you said planning, you said organizing, etc. Let it appear, let it go, having this kind of Gelassenheit to it. That I think would be Gelassenheit, most of you know. And if not, that's an English word you have to learn now. In kindergarten, Blitzkrieg. This is the way how you can come to it. And I totally agree with you, and I'm very happy. It's just, you might know, when in '89, for the German library, nobody wanted to touch Marx anymore. So they asked me, the Schopenhauer president, to edit Marx, Engels, Lenin, and find 100 pages of Marx which will stand time, which in 100 years will still be read. And my introduction said, finally the philosopher is back after the system went down. So now we can read him again without having to say, but not like this or not like that. And you are a good example of that, how reading Marx again, and something makes sense now after the political prison in which he was in, and put himself in some way too. There's no question about it, which was a guy. So yes, and it's interesting how the great philosophers which have a very similar feeling for these changes, and also kind of a kind of inner joy, saying it's not changes humans really make. So our contribution is to let it happen, to be open enough to make it nicht. Also so Marx, Menschen machen Geschichte, aber unter bestimmten Umständen. Humans make history,
but not under conditions of their own choosing.
And in certain conditions certainly was the real point, because if we make history, we always believe it's strong. We are not anthropocentric, we are just anthropomorph. That is okay. to be an anthropomorph, it's stupid to be naturemorph, but the rat outside, and inside. Anyway, this is, I think it's a very good example how to bring back text which we thought were already left out, and there's nothing more to say about it. And that again, I have to thank you for such a good start of our lecture.
Thanks.
And now to the questions.
Can I say two things first?
Yes, please.
Well, the first one's not a totally complete idea, but there's a Heidegger essay that you're suggesting that I found quite useful in this regard. And there's an essay on it was a lecture on poverty, and so it's a reading of the Holderlin phrase, "We must become poor to become rich." There's a beautiful Coulabart introduction to this. It was written strangely in 45 as the Soviet troops are approaching, and so it is in some sense a reflection on communism and the threats of it. We must become poor to become rich, and he translates that into you're right that that is in some ways he too is working with a notion of the abandonment of property. My question is though about this letting go, and let me pose the problem. Let me pose it this way. This is the relatively coherent idea I have. When I posed some of these ideas to a friend of mine who rides horses, she was saying to me, okay, Michael, this all sounds very nice, but my relationship with my horse would be totally ruined if it weren't my property. Other people would ride my horse. It would ruin the horse to be ridden. Maybe no one would take care of it. I'm not sure what the other thing. And I'm not a horse rider. I don't know. Apparently, if different people ride the horse, it ruins the horse's training or something like that. And so she was saying, if it's not property, and if we don't have property, someone else might say, and this, I think this is the kind of thing that Kollontai is reacting to, is that what would our relationships be like, our couple relationships, if we didn't think of the partner as property? Like, it reminds me of, what is that Dostoevsky novel where it's something like, if there is no God, then anything goes? Is that Brothers K? I can't remember which one it is. But it's the idea sort of like, if there is no property, then anything goes. Like, if she's not my property, she's going to have sex with everybody. And so what we have to do, rather than this notion of, I think that is often, I'm not proposing that as an idea, I'm proposing that as the, what seems to me a rather standard notion of the property relationship of the partner and the couple. In the same way that my friend has this property relationship with a horse, which I don't want to confuse with the other But my response is that I think there has to be some organization of relationships. It's not like that we do need to organize relationships. And also, but that we can have that my friend can have a relationship with a horse that is also beneficial for the horse, but that doesn't require a property relation. That's what my proposition, I guess, is that it's not that without property relations anything goes. It's not that, but rather that there are other ways of organizing social relations without relationships of property. That's the proposition. And so that's my reaction was, if letting go.
But you see, then you have not thought long enough about it.
Probably.
You can only let go what you have. And the point of letting go is that you have something. So and that is what Weber meant. Certainly we need the property for self-recognition, for the point of reference, etc. The point is only that we are not den Augenblick sag, bleib hier, don't tell the moment to stay here. Enjoy the moment itself, as Goethe, our great writer, said. And that is something babies can do. Also that's my best teachers are babies. After 2 years it's over, they go to kindergarten and learn all the rules. But before that they have a totally clear understanding of what they want and what they don't want. And it changes, okay, so repeat for the milk, I understand this, but there is still, and I have nothing against repeat of sex, but it is not the same again. So this is always something different. Even
Right.
with your same partner, you know, it is a different situation. You have let go in between. And so far, I think it's actually Gelassenheit, or that letting go needs to have this moment of owning. So in order to be able to own. So I don't think we are far away in this respect. Because the question is certainly what you emphasize. You emphasize is to say everything is getting let go. Let's keep some stuff we can start from. Things like that. And that is certainly what they try in the financial sector. But as you know, what they did was keep the bankers. The one who could make the best bets. I would say shoot them all, then maybe there's a chance to actually the machines are as a bet, not the bankers are the real betting, but these millisecond computers who can make a bet on the financial market before the other guy has done it. And then make only milli dollars, but altogether it's a big one. Okay, but let's go now to 100,000 questions. Okay, let's start with people I know. Mr. Hemmings.
We're talking about tools. We need to let go of tools. Should we then identify those who can let go of the tools, give them the tools to destroy the tools? Because you can't just let go of tools.